I used to be one of those people who could talk literally to anyone. I'm a Gemini, communication's supposed to be my thing. But when I was at the ripe age of 21, COVID came. And then in a few years, forced immigration came. So I was pretty much deprived from the communication with people for many years. And suddenly, even small communications like with a barista in a coffee shop became such a hard work to do. So I had to relearn everything. How to talk to people, what to talk about, what is appropriate to talk about, what is not. So this video will be more of a how to feel human again than how to be social, really. Because those things are very connected. We will talk about how to rebuild those soft skills that make you magnetic and not performative. I decided to start noticing other people who have a great communication skills. How do they do that? What they say, how do they say it, what is the meaning of those things. And I found that actually one of the main points is that they're not only talking about themselves, but they are really there. They're being in the conversation, they are listening closely to what the other person's saying and trying not only to find the perfect situation in your life to share, but also to react to something that they just heard. So it's not only about waiting for a turn to reply, but also taking a part in this conversation and maybe asking more questions about what the other person is talking about. So I started to practice in listening more and creating the space for people where they will feel comfortable sharing their stories. If you want to instantly feel more social, try not talking more but listening more. And it's a weird thing to understand, but honestly, once you're mastering attentive speaking, you will see the change. It's an oddly powerful thing. And you can tell me like, yeah, I could listen, but who would talk to me? And this is where is the catch. For person to speak, we need to start the conversation, right? And how do we do that? So I actually prepared a list of icebreakers and what to say to start a conversation. So first thing would be compliment on something and really mean that. For example, you're at a hairdresser and it's just an awkward silence while she's cutting your hair. And you feel like, yeah, it's a perfect opportunity to actually try to speak to someone. So you can start by telling her a compliment and on something that you are interested in or on something that you really like. Her earrings maybe her nails, maybe something that she's wearing. It would be an easy start for something where the person can open up. Second thing would be a basic and safe choice that is probably like a joke already, but talking about the weather. Like sometimes it is nice to just notice what is going on around you. Maybe you had some abnormal weather recently and it's a nice topic to talk about. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you just have an extremely pleasant weather today, and why not to talk about that in a relaxed way? The next one is actually my go-to right now, and it's when you know that the other person is an immigrant in this country too, and then you can talk with them about how long have you been here? How do you like it here? Have you been learning the language? And all the other things. And you can find, and actually for people like immigrants, it would be a very useful thing to find those connections and share like useful information, you know? Fourth icebreaker would be talk about where you are currently located. So for example, if you are somewhere out of the city, or maybe you are sightseeing, like a specific location comments can be icebreakers. Talk about what you like or don't like around you. Maybe share some story about like why you have these feelings towards this situation or the thing, and you can say like, yeah, I would ask, and person will answer me like, yeah, that's fine, that's okay, blah blah blah, like simple and short answer. How to avoid that? And I will tell you how actually. I used to think that good communicators usually live the party, interesting, like really out there life. But actually, not all of them like that. Good communicators just know the right questions to ask. Instead of what do, you can ask, what made you choose this today? Or instead of asking, how was your trip? You can ask, did you eat something interesting over there? People will remember that you made them feel seen. And also, I feel like that more specific questions break out this loop of being like robotic responses like, yeah, that's okay, that was fine, that is interesting, blah blah blah, I'm okay. And the person will really turn on their brains and start to think about what to answer, and it will feel more human, more genuine. So try to find something that will have an answer longer than one word. But also don't push yourself too hard and don't overthink, what should I say? What should I say? Just say something that you see around you, or if you see some similarities between you and the other person, just talk about that. For example, you're at the party and somebody turns on the music that you like. You can start the conversation with that. Even if the other person can be shy and give you more short and simple answers, you can be proactive there. Keep on talking on that topic and share maybe some of your personal stories or interests. Usually when other people see that you are opening up, they feel more safe to open up too, because showing those little vulnerabilities literally creating this safe space in the conversation. But also don't forget to read the room and don't be creeps, I'm begging you. So let's get back to listening. Let yourself just be in the conversation. Don't try to plan what will I say next, because you never know what the other person will reply to you, and that's how the conversation flows. You listen and then you think what to say next. If you need a little time to think on what to say, it's okay. Let the silence exist. It's fine. It's human. Real nice conversation, it's an alive thing that is creating in the process. So it's fine to not know what you will be talking about word for word and prepare some stories to tell other people. It's fine to just think about something on a spot. This way it will be more intertwined with the story that you're hearing. You will pay more attention to what the other person's saying, and once it will be your turn to reply, they will hear that you heard them. And that's how you keep the conversation alive, when both parties are interested in participating in it. And no need to go and make big steps right now. Start with something small. Say hi to the barista in your local coffee shop. Ask your neighbor how their day is. Compliment someone on the street or maybe at your job. It's like sport, like lifting weights. First repetitions should be easy, but those small moments will help you rebuild or build from scratch your confidence, and you will be able to have longer conversations and more meaningful. It's all about like social stamina. You just really need to train that. One of the practices that I'm doing, I started to opt out for asking people instead of Googling something and researching things by myself. So for example, you're with your colleague and they mentioned some movie during your conversation. And instead of going home and watching this movie or Googling on the spot and seeing like a short summary of this movie and like screenshots from that and trying to catch the vibe to understand what is going on, you can ask this person, oh, I've never seen this movie actually, what is it about? Can you tell me a little bit about it? Did you like it? Would you recommend that? What is the vibe of this movie? Or for example, let's pretend that you need to find the library in your local community. Instead of going on Google and trying to find it on Google Maps or something, you can ask in the chat of your building if anybody knows the library next to our building, or maybe asking somebody on the street, or maybe going to your administration, like texting your city hall and asking them, like trying to find the person, preferably in real life. It would be like a harder level, so let's start at least with chatting and go and ask people information that we need. Or if you're doing some research and you need some information and you know that your classmate is well versed in this topic, text them and ask if they could have a meeting with you where you could discuss all the questions that you have and if they could consult you with it. It's much more fun and pleasurable than just Googling it or discussing it with ChatGPT or something. And aside from that, you've made an acquaintances with the real human being. Isn't that fun? Probably during this conversation you will also have some inside jokes, not literally, but like some things that you could refer to later. Maybe you will talk about like, oh, I'm going to a quiz night, and the other person will be, oh, I always wanted to go to one. And the next time you can go there together, and look at you. You probably made a new friend simply by doing what you wanted to do. Do your research, but instead of going online or going to books or going to AI, you asked a real human being. And now you have not only done your research properly, but also you made a friend. So yeah, you not always need to be charming and funny to be easy to talk to. Sometimes it's just enough being relaxed and being there. Once you stop performing and stop being a joker or something, your vibe will be more like, I like being here. And that's what people find magnetic. So maybe this is not about how to talk to people and more about how to connect with people. Because if you think about it like that, it's not that we forgot how to do that, it's that we became scared to do that. We didn't have a practice in a long time, and it's fine to start with small steps and take as long as you need. I'm still figuring it out myself, but if you're doing it too or decided to start to do it too, I hope we will get better together. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing and becoming my friend, and maybe even liking this video if you found it useful. I will see you next week on Tuesday or Thursday as always, and I love you all. Mwah.